Doug Ellison, I confer upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Design. I congratulate you and I welcome you amongst us.
I call upon Doug Ellison to address the Assembly.
Honored guests, graduates, and I'm sure exceptionally proud friends and family, it truly is an extraordinary honor to be recognized in this way. Montfort University gave me the freedom, the opportunity for creativity, at the same time a level of guidance that truly equipped me in a way that I don't think I could have found anywhere else. It prepared me for the professional adventures ahead, and you will have in the future as well. When I was asked if I'd say a few words, a damning realization descended upon me. I was at a significantly less glamorous graduation event in 2001 when we were back into Montfort Hall, and I have tried ever since I was told I would be here to remember who spoke at my graduation, or indeed a single word that they've said, and I can't remember anything of what they said. And if you feel as warm as I look at the moment, you want me to keep this as brief as I possibly can. But hopefully one thing I can say today will hopefully stick with you, and it's the greatest lesson I've ever learned, and that is quite simply to find your passion. And let me explain. When I graduated from Montfort University, truthfully, I was perhaps a little bit burned out, and perhaps even a little bit bored with the subject I'd spent 3 years working so hard towards. In fact, perhaps even definitely bored, as my final year grades will attest to, as Mike Powell will agree. It's okay, I graduated with a 2-1, don't worry. But we were being unleashed into an industry that was seemingly hell-bent on redefining itself on an almost annual basis, and we were being blinded by the shrapnel of the burst of the dot-com bubble boom. It was a brutal place to be unleashed into. We would fill out CVs and prepare portfolios and submit them to companies that, better chance than not, would probably be declared bankrupt before they even had a chance to open the envelope. But one thing stuck with me, and that was that I had in my hand a piece of paper that said to the world, I'm good at something, and I wasn't quite sure what to do with it. But in my other hand, I clung to my passion. And my passion since I was very, very small has always been space exploration, since my father bought me a small blue telescope when I was a little kid back in the 1980s. Because as you were just told, you look at a globe in the world and it's all filled in. There's nowhere blank left over. But in the world of space exploration, there are untold worlds, places that are we explore all over anew again and again and again. And just when we think we've got somewhere figured out, just when we think we've mapped an entire place, a new spacecraft will go out and discover hundreds of worlds orbiting distant suns, and raw exploration can start all over again. But the extraordinary thing is that the quantity of data produced by these spacecraft exploring the solar system massively outweighs the ability of the scientific community to process it and understand it. But the good thing that they do is they unleash all this data to the whole of the general public. This is what we've done, make of it what you will. And I took that data and I thought, well, I've learned these things here at Montfort University, and there's this data begging to be used in some way. And so I applied the skills I had here. I made animations of this data. I put it together in mosaics and movies and panoramas to try and help tell the story of exploration that was going on. And I applied as much professionalism to this as I could. I couldn't find anybody to pay me to do it. I had to find something else to pay the bills. But I kept doing it anyway. It was my way of retaining my creative sanity. Now, at the end of it, I hoped there would be a dream whereby I could go and do this for a living. And sometimes the light at the end of that particular tunnel seemed not just dim and distant, it seemed like the tunnel was completely bricked up. But what I would do is just find a new and interesting piece of data, redouble my efforts to unlock what this stuff could tell us, do a new project, make something beautiful about it. And the ridiculous thing is now that even though it's my day job and someone pays me to do it, I still find myself in my evenings and weekends finding new and unusual data and unlocking it in some other way. Now, it can be It can be a kind of extraordinary challenge to know what your passion is, to find what your passion is. Some of you may be very, very lucky. You may already have found it. If you're not sure, believe me, you haven't yet. But never, ever, ever stop looking for it. And once you've found it, never let it go. And trust it. Because the internal arguments you'll have with yourself, am I going down the right path? Is this dream of mine achievable? It's your passion that will make sure you resolve that argument in the right way. It'll lead you down the right path every single time. Now, it may seem very unobvious to find an intersection between kind of your inherent abilities and your passions. Fate rarely hands you an easy handhold between those two parts of what will eventually become your career. But keep chasing your passion, and it will take you truly to the stars. The late, great science fiction writer Ray Bradbury has a beautiful quote. It says, "First you jump off a cliff, and you build your wings on the way down." Now, for several years, you've been here at Montfort University, and what the staff and the lecturers have done for you here is put in your hands all of the tools and all the parts you need to build those wings, and you've been climbing all the way to the top of that cliff, and you stand on top of it today, ready to make that jump. And as you jump, you'll have everything you need in your hands, but the instruction manual, how do you put those things together? How do you make that flight? That's what your passion is going to do for you. That's what will make your flight beautiful and make your landing graceful. So to those of you graduating today, I wish you good luck and best of all, happy landings. Thank you very much indeed.